Welcome back everyone, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Divinity Original Sin Definitive Edition number 2. Let's talk to Sabil.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
Can I join you?
She shakes her head.
Game for one, I'm afraid. Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
I frown. Actually, yeah, whose fate is she deciding?
Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
If she can decide fates with dice, can you read the future in cow entrails as well?
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
Sure, why not extend my arm?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. A dark, dank place. I remember it well. As everyone lay sleeping, you sat in the dark with wakeful eyes, looking rather lovingly at... me! My, aren't you a pretty cup full of sugar and spice?
I admit wide-eyed that that's exactly right.
Of course it is. The truth's right there, skin deep. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell.
That was a very sexually charged conversation.
Right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mezd. Your kind always hung...
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this Trampiotham.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again.
I move closer.
He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
It does, thank
Cocking
you.
a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
Why does the Magister suspect you of murder?
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing.
That's uttering threats, by the way.
Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
In the law.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants.
I'm still curious about the murder. Did you do it?
No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough.
What did you do to find yourself at the mercy of your subordinate?
Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties.
Do anything about where we're headed?
The Joy? I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself.
I would like to meet Alexander. I would show him exactly what I think of his bloody divine order.
Easy now. I might think the same. But Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You! What's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
My name is Losa.
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you. At once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
I like Ifan, he's funny. Alright, we have talked to Sabil and Ifan. Let's talk to Thamior.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers, too. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
Indeed.
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
I humor him. Let's see where this leads.
There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
Can hardly tell a turkey from a turnip.
Oh, goodness, no. And don't even mention the demon's testes that are turnips. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
I stick a thumb through one of the holes in my garb and say, these provide a cool in the summer.
Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic, a bag is as good as a shirt kind of style. I shouldn't be getting my hopes up. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after.
I just keep chewing my hair. It was already in my mouth anyways.
Dear Lord, I might as well try and teach mathematics to a dog chasing its tail. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we?
Let's.
As per your own testimony, you have the taste buds of a dung beetle, the fashion sense of a monkey in a clown suit, and your personal hygiene reminds one of a carcass rotting in the sun. That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry.
I stared at him blankly. He was looking for me to be his what now?
My slave, of course. Oh, but I see. Yes, I suppose it must take some time for the full extent of my disheartening refusal to sink in. Still, hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser household than mine. You keep dreaming, you hear?
Pass.
Insufferable.
Alright, Gil, let's talk to you
One
next.
of them. A divine order loyal. They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence well enough, but make no mistake.
Thank you, Gil.
How dare you?
Beast.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, Gero. You hear that?
Girl, you ought to think twice before addressing me like a
He
child.
turns his head toward you, looking you up and down, and smiles before turning his attention to the ship once more.
You look like a Gero to me. Listen, if you're interested. Or get gone if you aren't.
Alright, what am I supposed to hear?
The ship, of course.
I quiet and listen to the sounds of the ship.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
The ship is moaning like a sick man.
Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mums. But there's more. Listen close.
I close my eyes and try to let the ambient sounds on the ship fade away.
There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back, the other catches you before you lose your footing.
There, you heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, Gero. Good news.
What has you so excited? Actually, I nod. I heard it. What's it supposed to be?
It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Pardon my beard. That means if we've been travelling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
You shouldn't talk like that about such a magnificent beard.
Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate. Even here.
Why are you so excited about reaching the Joy? I haven't heard anything good about that place.
No, indeed, Gero. But that ain't my final destination.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all, thank ye kindly, Gero.
If you are hatching an escape plan, I want in.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and doesn't acknowledge you anymore.
Fine, jerk. We have one more person to talk to.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out and takes your hand, turning it this way and that, examining it from every angle. Finally, he pinches your skin, gently tugging at it.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
I pull a long face. I thought he wanted to hold hands.
I have already examined it and found it quite ordinary. What more could I possibly... Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some cultural taboo. How... difficult. You have my apologies, human. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once.
I look at him curiously. I'm not sure that he understands what's happening.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. Understanding is all rather relative. Take this book, for example. I understand all of it, and yet none of it makes sense. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history?
I'm pretty sure some stuff has happened at some point. Some even say it continues to do so.
Most unusual. And if it's not too rude to suggest, not much of an answer. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
I've often pondered the nature of the gods, but I don't have any sure answers.
Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else? Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
Why are you so curious about the gods?
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your questions.
He's also not an elf.
You better be ready to talk here.
Alright, off to the greasy door. We have the greasy door key, which means we can steal some things.
Right over the side of this ship with him.
A pocket knife.
This again?
Those mashed potatoes are actually worth some money. Not much, but a little. There's a journal here. And some garlic.
Your Majesty, turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen horse dinner.
Taking that. Ooh, a restoration scroll right off the bat. Not a bad find.
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Majesty more concerned than yours.
And that appears to be all. Let's take a look at the journal. The tome contains no text, instead sketches of dragons fill every page. The artist is hardly talented, but clearly enthusiastic. Alright then. Let's talk to Victor.
I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your
Damn, okay, fine. Let's go talk to the Magister. Let's see if we can solve this mare there.
So, anything interesting for me?
Define interesting.
I'll take that as a no.
That would be wise. Aside from some buckets, there's not a whole lot going on the ship.
Here anyway.
There are 3 children, though.
I know you. I heard you sing once. Before. Out there. Wow.
Yeah, I did. Alright, Jalen.
Name?
Losi, or Losa? Yes, the Losa.
Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a killer here.
Well, fine then, jerk. Alright, we've talked to everybody. Let's bust open this door.
Turnips and water.
Here's the register, ma'am. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
Would you be fine, collared like a dog and stuck in a ship's hold with the corpse and a murderer on the loose?
He tugs the collar of his uniform and chuckles.
Sorry you're upset, ma'am, but we all wear what we wear for a reason. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Yeah, okay. I'm heading in.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she...
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
I'm going to address the sorcerer and ask her what she meant by there are others whose lives must end.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
Oh no! Windigo! That was quite the explosion.
What's happened?
Well, there was an explosion, of course. A wooden targe and some other garbage gear, but we're going to use what we can. We have a pocket knife, which is really awful. And we have a wooden targe, which is also quite awful, to be completely fair. Let's go loot some bodies. Nothing on that one. 4 gold on that one. 2 gold on that one. Anything... Oh, there's a bottle of wine that's worth some money. 20 gold is like a lot of money now. We're kind of poor. I'm gonna sell all of this stuff. I'll do almost all of the selling and inventory management stuff between videos, by the way, because it is not interesting to watch. Let's go see who's alive out here. Oh, there's a note and a quill. Let's take that. And another note. We're not going to use or look at the requisitions because they're boring, but a few of them are in good spirits, especially the children. The others are sullen. Don't blame them. Change is rough. But they'll make new friends sooner or later, and when we cure them for good, they'll be thanking us, not cursing. Well, most of them. The elf with the dice, that lone wolf, the creaky-voiced woman in the kitchen, some folks won't get over it. Reckon they won't be the first to get cured if they're ever cured at all. Magister Paid has taken a little bit of a beating. Everyone's down and out. But all the Magisters are dead, including the poor Magister Sourcehound, which is sad. Poor Sourcehound. But you'll notice that everyone else is unconscious. All of the player characters, I should say, are unconscious. Just a good time to go grab loot. If there's any to be found. And... oh, that Magister's not dead.
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound.
He'll be fine. Yoink, thank you for your book. The Ancient Tome, or the Ancient Book I should say. The Source King insists that there are no magics too foul, even those that would block or even remove the source within an individual. I delight in his madness. It is an invitation to manipulate all which we once believed immutable. He provides all manner of experimental subjects. The text beneath lists a series of hexes and materials required for muting source. Some of those objects are circled in black ink and annotated as follows. Helm, collar, mask. Collar. Collar's the one you're looking for there, but fine. Let's go quickly take a look at the rest of this room. There's a display case there we might have missed, and then we're gonna head... oh, Namia's dead. I didn't even realize. We should go loot her corpse too. She had sticks. Sticks are useful for crafting things. We are going to craft some things, even though crafting is not really what this game is about. There's not a whole lot of good crafting things. Some empty cups, but a bottle of wine, we'll take that. And we got another deck of playing cards. Alright, so there's a Sourcehound in here. We don't have Pet Pal yet, so we can't talk to it. It will most likely attack us when we open the door. Or not, it's fine. It howled. That door is locked, but pretty easy to break down.
Onwards and upwards.
You can also go in that way, but...
Thank the gods! By
Oh, Divine Grace, who was that howling?
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer!
I wave my hands in the air and chant some nonsense. He better not mess with you.
He leaps to attention and brandishes his blade.
Well, fine then. So there are 2 enemies. We'll conjure an incarnate between me and him. And a thing. We need the other infusion, but we don't have it yet, so. That one's dead. He's gonna come smack us though, which is a little unfortunate. 2 hits! What a jerk. God, our damage is so awful. Also, you should always summon a totem every turn if you can help it. For that exact reason. They do a lot of damage. Alright. Lockpicks, stained pants, wooden figurine. 4 whole gold, a letter of some sort. A bust of Alexander which weighs a ton and is not worth anything. A couple bound tones, also not worth anything. When I played these games with my friends, they would often put very heavy items in your inventory just for funsies. They were a little bit jerky like that. In fact, if one of them's watching, you know who you are. Sorry, one sec. There we go. My sweet Stefan, as I write this letter, we near the Isle. By the time that the owl delivers it, I will be but a day away. I have heeded Alexander's orders, just as you said I should, but I think of Lucian often. Would the Divine have condoned this? Would he have blessed us as we ripped children from their mothers? Can this be the only way? I feel cold inside and out. Of one thing I am certain. Your arms will warm me when I find you again. With love, Rix. Unfortunately, I think we killed that guy. In fact, almost assuredly we killed him. His body is there on the ground. I'm gonna see if we can get Pet Pal before we leave, although I don't think we can, and we might have to kill that Source Hound. We're gonna try and avoid killing animals as quickly as possible, or as minimally as possible. Yoink. Steal that. We're gonna steal everything that's not nailed down that's worth any money.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters.
I don't think there's actually a time limit to this.
Something's pounding on the hull.
A skull-marked key and a note.
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You don't recognize the symbol, but it's clearly warning you away. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The color drains from your hand, and you are left numb.
Open.
It doesn't budge.
Use my key.
The door groans open, but an ashen shadow clouds your mind.
Okay, so if you're undead, you can actually go in there and steal some of these items. As we are not undead, we would die a terribly painful death if we went in there. That is Death Fog. Instant death for the living. It literally will kill you in like a second. There's no surviving it. Fane's in here. Let's go talk to Fane.
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel sits in the middle of his forehead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia, muttering to himself.
No, no, no! What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet, it cannot even resist acid. No wonder they're so bloody ignorant.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
Shouldn't you be doing the same? The ship is going down.
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from page to page.
I know your god did not gift you with much, but kindly use the little you were given. Do you look at me and think, why yes, there is someone with organs enough to drown? Trifling matters like water and poison do not concern me. No, damp robes are the most I have to fear. Once this glorified skiff hits the seafloor, I will simply walk to shore. Whereas you, I believe, of lifeboats to pointlessly squabble over.
Why didn't I see you before? You kind of stand out.
I believe you did. Although I was wearing the face of an elf at the time. I had a mask rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive form. A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little scene. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands.
That's sensible.
Indeed. Just as sensible as getting off a sinking ship and leaving a fellow to his business. I would say good day, but it seems quite likely that you're about to die a rather terrible death, so...
The skeleton shrugs casually and returns to his book.
Alright, well, thank you, Bane, for your wise interpretation of what's about to happen. Nothing in there. There's another chest over here on this side. With a whole 2 gold. Ooh, a Magister Ranger with a bow. I don't think we're gonna get Pet Pal. I think we're just gonna leave that dog here. We don't need to go in there, though. We need to go this way. Up the stairs. Wait, did we get that loot? Hang on, there's a chest in this room. Oops. Come on, keep moving. I wonder if the dog will attack us. It's got 26 armor. That's actually a fair amount of armor. Yoink. Thank you, doggo. There's also another couple things to loot. Nothing. 3 whole gold and nothing. Alright. Let's just go upstairs. There's going to be a fight coming up right now. The autosave lets us know that. Damn, that Magister Knight just got taken out. Alright, so Conjured Incarnate right there. I don't want it to be poison. Although I guess it could have been poison. Although I don't know if these things are immune to poison or not. Almost dead. We're gonna take a hit. Or maybe not. No, my incarnate! Oh, the humanity. I don't think I can reach it. 2 AP to here, and that's pretty much the end of our turn. There goes our incarnate. Low-level incarnates are kind of bad. Alright, so let's loot this dead knight. There's nothing on his body, but there's another one over here, which has a scroll, which is probably worth some money. We have the laboratory key. You can also use water barrels to put out fires like this one. Or it'll go out on its own, maybe? Regardless, let's put it out. I really can't get in line of sight, can I? That's also really not useful. There we go. That should be good enough, I think. Improvised wand. A dead person. Another dead person. The captain should have some gear on him. Her. I wonder if we can get up to those. Kinda curious. My game just crash? It might have. Nope, it was just taking its sweet time thinking. Can I get up there? No, alright. No treasure chests, we got the bodies. We'll quickly check these chests and this barrel, and then we're gonna move on. Not worth it. A mug of water, just sitting in a chest or a crate. Interesting and weird. All right, so. So on the boat there's Gil and the kids, but we need to go down there. I'm glad that they destroyed that for me. There's one more little fight we have to do. We come in here, everyone's conscious again.
If you can walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a... Wait, void woken.
There was a surprise ambush. Need more summoning skill. One dead. He petrified that one. That's pretty impressive. It's a good low-level ability. Beast took a hit.
Let the games begin.
I wonder if they improved the combat AI of Sabile. He's doing pretty well. No, my poor little guy, stop it.
I've faced worse.
Go with Fan, I believe you. Where did you get a dagger from, by the way? Right then, let's kill off this one. I don't know if that totem's gonna be able to hit it. Oh, we should put it in the blood, actually. Blood makes for wonderful incarnates and totems. Wow, you're a jerk. He hit me with a grenade. I mean, we won, but still, what a jerk.
Let's head above decks for some air.
We come down here, we could have left without them. Just as a side note. But no, they threw a freaking Molotov at us. What is his problem?
It's Magister Siwan. The one who put on this damn collar.
She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck, trying to stem the bleeding of a gushing wound.
Anyone to help her?
With jagged movements, she raises her clenched fist and holds out a length of cloth, soaked with some kind of strong-smelling tincture.
I hold it to the wound to try and stem the bleeding.
Blood quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister Siwan's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror.
Unravel the blood-red cloth and wrap it snugly around her neck like a tourniquet.
Blood pours out from around the bandage. Magister Siwan reaches out to you, her hand flailing.
Better end it quickly. She's dead. Sorry, Siwan. I'm not spending all my lifetime hoping to save you.
There's no time.
Everything is shaking.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped, broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
And this is where we're going to end our video. As soon as it loads, we'll check to see if there's nothing going on in terms of cutscenes, and then we'll call it there. We are on Fort Joy Beach.
Well, the Order's right about one thing. First comes Source, then comes Voidwoken.
Alright.
Am I the lone survivor?
We're going to call it here. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Take care.